Welcome to Just One Song. My name is Kurt Bemke, and in this program, we're going to explore the songwriting process by writing one song within 45 minutes. But the important thing to note is that the song doesn't have to be good. It just has to exist. With me tonight is Quinn McCarthy, a friend of mine, a songwriter. Quinn, how are you doing?
Solid.
Quinn, why don't you tell me a little bit about your journey as a musician?
Okay, well, my name's Quinn. I currently had two groups. One of them's the Grunion, and that I sing and play bass and write most of the songs for, along with Jack Keogh. And the other is a solo project, Quinn, spelled Quinn, which I write all the songs for. I'm very much so a DIY guy. I do all the recording. I do all the mixing myself, and studied at Cal Poly for all of that good stuff, the music business, and now I'm just kind of trucking away, trying to, leave my dent in the music industry.
Awesome. I've heard your music with the Grunion. I haven't heard Quinn, your other group. Is it just you?
Yeah, it's been existing in the shadows, waiting to come out into the daylight. It's like I have 3 songs on Spotify and whatnot, but I haven't been doing really any promotion. It's because each song's been an experiment to kind of figure out, like, okay, how do I do this? What is me? What do I want to, really present to the world as, this is Quinn. This is the music that I like, and I hope you like it too. So each song's very different, because it's just me kind of figuring how to record, like the instruments the way I want them. Am I going to do software instruments, wheel instruments? What's the most efficient way to do it? All that jazz.
So you're being very careful with putting out a sound that is a genuine representation of who you are. I guess, is that kind of our goal as musicians in general? I feel like that changes when you go in a group. It's a collective thing.
Yeah, and just being content with stuff you create is very difficult, I think, starting out. And especially, even continuing forward. Because you want something that, you're willing to play 100 times, and still enjoy and still get the feeling from it, and not, just hear and play the flaws and be like, God, this song sucks, And so if you release something, it's cool, but people are going to want to hear it. And if you don't want to play it, then where's that song really going to go? You need to be able to play, like, as far as, a frugal sense of building yourself up as an artist and stuff, people are going to want to see you at shows. And if you don't like the songs you created and you released, or if you don't like the songs you created, why release them in the first place? You want to be content with what you created, so that when you release it, it's something you want to tell people about. You're like, yes, like, hey, this is me. Like, I created this. I did this, and this. I created a whole album like my second year of college, and ended up tearing it down because I just wasn't ready as an artist. I recorded it live, and I thought it was good, mixed it, released it, and people liked it, but I couldn't bear listening to the performance quality and the audio quality. So I just ended up taking it down. I might re-release it down the road, but just because I didn't want to play the songs out. I didn't even want to listen to it. Didn't want to tell people about it because, I thought it was crap.
Yeah, I feel like that's such a big barrier of entry for musicians, though. Like, a lot of people don't want to write a song because they're so afraid of writing a bad song. But it's kind of like you have to write a bad song to write a good song. Is that accurate?
Oh, dude, you have to write like thousands.
It's just whether or not you...
I have like 3 notebooks of songs that I've written. Like 3 big, like probably at least 100 pages in each of those things. I have 3 of them filled completely, and I still haven't released an album. I have at least 70 songs that I've written over my lifetime, and I've yet to release a solo album just because I'm not content with what I've written yet. There's a lot of good stuff, and with each song, you hope to get a little bit better at writing.
You hope that you make something you're at the very least comfortable with other people hearing.
Yeah, and it takes a long time. And another thing, writing a song, being a songwriter is one thing, and writing a good song, but then also being able to perform it and really do the song justice. That's probably even more than half the battle, because you can write a song and you're like, yeah, this is a really good song, I really like it. But if you can't perform it, no one's going to want to listen to it. In the old days, they had songwriters, and then they would have people on the streets, and they would be performers, and they would sing the song to really, you're selling the song, really what you're doing to the audience, to like say, hey, this is a good song, and here's a good performance of this good song. Because a good song with a poor performance is like not a good song usually. It's very,
it's like why sometimes the cover of a song is better than the original, but in most cases the original of any song is better than most covers.
Almost always, yeah.
But you're not going to cover a bad song,
Yeah. But you can cover a song. Like I cover some songs that are, pop songs, and then I change them into these crooned out kind of folk style ballads, and it totally changes the song. It's really, and this goes like ties into songwriting and stuff, is if it's written, like if it's performed and it's written with the soul, it's written with your heart, and it's really, you're not just doing it to be cool, you're not just doing it because you're like, I want to write a song, but there's something that's moving you, something or some corner you need to turn, something that's eating you up inside, and you just need to find a way to get out. That's when you write a song, and then you hope that you like the song at the end, you can finish it, and then you share that with other people, and then they can relate to it. They're like, man, I've totally been there. God, that's a good song, like
it. Now, is that kind of how you write? You wait for something to come up inside and make you feel like it has to come out, or are you able to sit down and be like, I'm gonna write a song today, and then you hash one out, you just get it out there, you get it on paper, and I wrote a song. What is like your reliable way to write a song?
Well, right now, so I can do both, I would say, but that's because I'm well versed in music theory and the intricacies of harmony. And because I'm I'm a spiritual person, I'm very in touch with a lot of things, and I've always been very good with words. So I can write a song just because I want to write a song, but I'm probably not going to be very content with it. It'll be a lot of tweaking, and it'll be a lot of, it's going to be a lot more work to sit down and say that I want to write a song today than to wait for songs to come to me nowadays. And plus I have so many songs that, are like at different stages of being, finalized, that I typically still work on. Like I don't finish a song like in one session. It's like kind of like a constant battle. Like I change notes here and there, like, ooh, okay, like let me change the feel of the guitar here. And it takes a long time to like fall down.
It has to age a little bit.
Yeah. But I'd say the best way for me personally is to wait. And the best songs I've written is when I'm just consumed with emotion, or I'm just, something is eating me up, or I can't figure it out, and I'm like thrown into maybe a big depression or something like that, and I can't find out. And then maybe I find something that I'm like, oh my God, like I've just been taking life too seriously. And then I, write a song about that to help me turn the corner. Or for me personally, what I've been writing lately, is to help me remember, because I have a very poor memory to where I can have all these really big revelations, epiphanies, and like stuff that, is right. Most of the time we can't see stuff that's right in front of our face. And, sometimes I'll see something and I'll be like, whoa, like, oh my gosh. Like, and this just changes it uplifts your whole reality. And that's when I write songs now, just to help me remember that, help me to remember, like, gosh, okay, remember to freaking smile, Quinn. Like, life's not that bad. So like one of the songs I've written recently is called Smile. And it just, it basically says like, hey, smile. And like, it goes into all the importance of smiling and to remember basically to smile.
Like the personal letters to yourself from yourself.
Yeah, but written in a way, the careful thing is I write them in a way to where they're all inclusive, to where although they are my songs, they're for everybody, because music should be shared. As far as my take on being an artist should be creating content that not only, is helping them invigorate the self, but is also in so facto like geared towards the community. It's for others. You create your art, although, maybe you sit in your room and stuff and play music, you're still at that moment, you're representing a small node of something big that's beneficial to the whole community. So everything should be geared towards everyone else.
That's a great way to look at how art should be shared. If you're going to create something and you want people to see it, it's one thing to write a song about yourself. You can certainly write a personal song that's about you and something you went through. But like I always love listening to songs where it's like a general appeal, where it's just a feel good. Hey, this song is telling me to be happy, or it's saying I'm okay to not be okay today. You know, like that's just, they're validating. I love songs that validate you for being a human, for being just a person.
Oh yeah, and even more so, like you can even write songs. Like one of my most favorite songs I've ever written is when I was doing mechanical engineering for a while, and I decided to go full music, and instead of trying to do both, and I wrote this song called Sorry, and it's basically me telling my dad, like, hey, I'm sorry for letting you down, because I'm finally, you know, making a decision for myself that's, you know, what I want to do. And it was like my first break from him. We were very close growing up, and we still are, but that was the first kind of break to where I became my own man, you know,
yeah.
So, and that song, you know, it's very personal. It's all written about my emotions, but it's interpretable. So like when I say songs should be for other people, although maybe the lyrics are all about you, they need to be interpretable so that people can understand exactly what you're saying, so then they can relate to it.
You're conveying the idea rather than the exact sentiment.
Well, both, but it's just like you got to be able to be understood is one thing. You know, me growing up, I used to write these songs that I thought were completely great, but it took me a while to realize, okay, well, I think they're great, and they actually are great. I think, you know, still to this day, but no one knows exactly what I'm talking about, because I'm implying all these things that I know that aren't, you know, generalities that people don't know. Or, wow, okay, learning how to, you know, correctly structure a song to where the lyrics flow and actually tell a story and make sense, like you're reading a book, rather than like chunk, you know, and like, yeah, there's a big meaning in here, although it's very vague. There's huge story. No, it's got to be like A, then there's B, then there's C, then there's D, you know, like everything, the list, you have to think from a listener's perspective, so that it's like you're looking at the song. The best way to put it is you're looking at the song objectively. You're not implying your subjective thoughts on the song and your subjective knowledge of what the song's about. After you write the song, you reflect upon it and look at it from an objective standpoint.
Remove yourself from the story.
Yeah, even if it's about yourself.
With a downward view of it. That's a cool perspective over it. It's like you're trying to empathize with the audience before they even hear it.
Yeah, I mean, because it's all about them. It's like that's who it's for. You know, that's who you're going to be playing for. And if you want your song to be, you know, you to have a crazy performance, and you nail the performance, and you're fully consumed. You're not even like sentient. You're there, but someone else is behind the wheel, and you're just killing the song. And then you want to hear that, you know, people in tears, or you want to see people, you know, clapping or whatever. Maybe you're a punk person. You want to see people throwing fists. They're not going to be able to do that unless they understand what you're talking about. You know? So that's why you have to objectify and look at it, so that you're like, okay, wait a second. The verse going into the second verse, it doesn't make sense. You know, why was his hair all of a sudden brown when it was, you know, blonde a second ago? Like, this does not make sense. Something crazy about songs is like, what the heck are they? So they're like a combination of poetry and music. Words are just in general clunky, but poetry is like words that are put together in weird ways to where they have these bigger meanings, where the listener or the reader, you know, implies its own self onto these projects its own thoughts and emotion on these words and pulls something out of them. What is that?
Right.
And music's like collections of sounds that, you know, like it's just different frequencies that we all, you know, really enjoy. And it's some, you know, and then you put them together and all of a sudden you have a whole crowd of people crying because you just played the most beautiful song. That's magic, dude.
The message also has to be genuine, so it's got to come from someplace personal too. And I think that's the beauty of poetry and music, is it's all about reading between the lines. Yes, there's a definite meaning behind this. There's something that the author or writer or whatever the artist wanted to convey. But if it's really good, then there's other things you can take from it too, and there's no wrong answers.
Yeah.
I know it means this, but to me, it feels like this, and I can relate to it because of whatever. And it could even be, well, I don't know anything what's going on, but the music's great. I mean, there's so many. It's such a full sensory experience, you know. I don't know. That was my.
It's straight up magic, dude. Straight up. That's why I do it, because I honestly think it's the most, you know, genuine thing as human beings have to offer as far as creating